So good morning, Jai Gurudev. This is my first chemistry class with you, and I am going to start with the chapter Matter in Our Surrounding. This is our first chemistry chapter, and we will start from this chapter Matter in Our Surroundings. Now, first of all, let us see what are the objective of this chapter. What are the objective of this chapter? What are the things that we will going to learn in this chapter? Okay. First of all, first of all, we will know about in this chapter actually we will know what is matter. What is matter? We will know about the different properties of the matter. We will know about the different properties of the matter, like that whether the matters are particles or not, whether the matters are particles or not, or whether the matter attract each other or everything. We will learn about the different properties of the matter in this chapter. In this chapter, we will be looking at the different interconversion between the different states of matter. Means we will see how we can convert solid into liquid, or liquid into gas, or how we can convert directly solid into gas. There are different methods which we will be discussing in this chapter. In this chapter, we will know, after finishing this chapter, we should know what is latent heat. What do you mean by the term latent heat? Right. And we will also know how to convert the different scale of temperature. Means how can we convert the Kelvin and Celsius scale to one another? What are the different conversion technique? What are the different conversion technique that we will learn in this chapter? That we will learn in this chapter. After this class, now this is Kelvin and Celsius. These two are actually used to measure the temperature. These two are actually used to measure the temperature. These two is actually used to measure the temperature. We can measure temperature either in a Celsius scale or in a Kelvin scale, and we can convert them. And we can convert them. Now this is very important. We will follow this oftenly. Before beginning of the chapter, let us look at the mind map of the chapter 1. Let us see about the mind map of the chapter. Means what are the main things, the gist of the chapter actually. See, in this chapter we will be knowing about the, first we will understand matter, and after that we will be understanding, at first we will understand the physical nature of matter. Means how the matter is made up of, what the matter is made up of. These are the different things that we will know. How matter is made up of, these are the various things which we will know. And then we will also try to learn about the size of the particles. Means first we will see that how matter is made, then different, and we will also look at the size of the particles of the matter through which matter is mainly made. Then we will also look about the different characteristics of this particle. First we will see, we know what is matter. Matter is anything that has space and volume. And this matter is made up of what? Particles. And these particles are actually very small. And what are the characteristics of this particle? The main characteristics of the particles are is that they have a space between them. They are continuously moving and they attract each other. We will come back to the mind map again after discussing few topics. And finally, we will see the different states of matter, that what is solid, what is liquid, what is gaseous, and how can we convert them. Though there are 5 states of matter, but since plasma and Bose-Einstein state does not have the physical existence as such, so we will not discuss them in details, and it is not there in the syllabus also. So first let us begin by understanding what is matter. What do we mean by matter? See, let's try to understand what is matter. See, matter is anything, and notes I will give you. You just watch the video properly. I will give you the notes of the today class in the PDF format. So what is matter? Matter is anything that has space and mass in it. Matter is anything that has space and mass in it. Just imagine the chair where you are sitting, the mobiles that you are using. The mobile has some mass, and if you put it somewhere, it will occupy some volume. So we can say that it is matter. Actually, everything around us, rather everything in the universe, we can divide it into two terms. Either there will be matter, everything in the universe we can divide it into two terms. Either there will be matter or there will be energy. What is energy? Like light, sound, these are all words, these are all energy. And what is matter? Matter is anything that is mass. Most of the things that you see around us are matter. For example, milk. See, milk has some weight and it occupies some volume. It is a matter. Similarly, Coke. Coke has some mass in it and it occupies some volume, so it is a matter. Similarly, bell. It has some mass and it occupies some volume, so it is also matter. Okay. Now let us try to understand about the physical nature of matter. The first nature of matter is the matter is made up of particles. Right? The matter is made up of particles. Everything is around us is made up of matters, and since matter is made up of particles, so we can say that everything around us is made up of particles. Okay? Even our body, see, we are also a matter because our body has some mass and it occupies some volume, so it is also a matter. And you see there, our body is made up of what? Since it is a matter, so it will be made up of particles. Similarly, the chair is made up of particles, table is made up of particles. Very interesting, you see, the number of particles is very large. It's very large. For example, you see, a small raindrop, it is not, there is some mistake, it is not 1021, it is 10 to the power 21. It is 10 to the power 21. So it is corrected in your notes also. It is 10 to the power 21. A small raindrop. Just imagine you see the raindrops, how they look, how beautiful they look. A small raindrop. A small raindrop, it has this much particles in it. Just imagine it is 10 to the power 21 particles in it. And what are these particles? These particles are atoms and molecules. These particles are atoms and molecules. What is atoms and molecules? We learned in our previous class also. What is atoms? Atoms are the smallest particles of the matter that explain all the particles of that particular matter, right? Atoms are the smallest particle of any matter. Suppose we have an iron in it, we just go on breaking this it, we will obtain a small point that cannot be further divided, and that explain all the properties of that particular matter, right? In our class 9, in the later chapter, we will see that atoms can further be subdivided into electron, proton, and neutron. Means inside atoms, electron is also present, proton is also present, and neutron is also present. And when one or more atoms combine together, they make molecules. So now this is the first activity actually that we will do, that there is a evidence, that there is a proof that matter is made up of particles. See, here what we have done, we have taken a beaker of water. These are all the magnified particles of water. You can see these are the particles of water. These are shown as a magnified version. These are the particles of water. And when we add salt in it, salt also has what? Salt also has particles. If we consider that salt does not have particles, then we cannot explain how the salt dissolves in actually. whenever we add a salt in water, see the salt you see here, it is coming out and then it is dissolving in water, right? So here you can see the soup. Sorry, it is not sugar. Here you can see, you can do the same experiment with sugar also, but here we have not taken sugar, here we have taken salt. Here we have taken salt. So you can say that the salt seems to disappear. After the solution is made, the salt can, what? The salt disappears. The salt disappears, see. And this can only be explained how? By using the very idea of particles. Both salt and water are made up of small particles. The small particle goes into the space of the particles of water. Where does this salt go? Where does this salt go? This salt actually go inside the particles of water. Inside the particles of water. So now we know that the matter consists of particles. Now we see how small these particles are. How small these particles are actually. How small these particles are. This is actually made up of atoms, and atoms is something which we cannot see, and they are made up of very small particles. So this is an experiment. You see, this is potassium chromate solution. So this is potassium permanganate solution. And what is the color of it? What is the color of the solution? What is the color of the solution? The color of the solution is purple. The color of the solution is purple. It is purple color, right? The color of the solution is purple. Color of the solution is purple. Now what we do, we dilute it. See, we take 2 to 3 small crystals of potassium permanganate and dissolve in 100 ml of water. We will get a dip. Take 10 ml of the deep purple solution permanganate and mix it with 90 ml of water. So see, what we have done, first we have added a potassium permanganate in 100 ml test tube. Right, you see the deep color you can see. Then we just take 10 ml from it. We just take 10 ml from it. We just take 10 ml from it and we have mixed it with 90 ml water. So see, initially we have taken some potassium permanganate and in potassium permanganate, right, 2 to 3, only 2 to 3 small crystals and dissolved it in 100 ml water. Out of these we are taking 10 ml and mixing it with 90 ml water. So now we can imagine how dilute it will be. And we just keep on taking 10 ml from one beaker and mixing it with 90 ml. So see how dilute it is becoming, how dilute it is becoming, how dilute it is becoming. Even then, after so much dilution, the color does not disappear. The color still remains a very light pink. After so much dilution, the color is still remaining pink. The color is still remaining pink. The color still remains pink. See. After so much dilution, the color still remains pink. And this shows that the particles are very small. Even in a 1 spoon of salt that we take, it has lot of particles in it. Here the experiment are given in detail that we discuss now. So one thing we have understand, the first thing we have understand, the particles, matter is made up of particles and particles are what? Particles are extremely small. Now you see the particles have a space between them. This we have understood I think from our past activity where we have added salt in water. The salt just dissolves in water. Why? Because what? Because it has space in it. Here we have taken some sugar and we are adding the sugar in water. See, we are adding the sugar in water. We stirred it. The sugar will completely disappear. Where does the sugar go? The sugar goes in between the particle of water. The sugar goes in between the particles of water. The sugar goes in between the particles of water. So, until now we know that matter is made up of what? Matter is made up of particles and these particles are extremely small and they have a space between them. And see another very important thing, you see, the particles of the matter are constantly moving. The particles of the matter are constantly moving. For example, see, we have seen this agarbatti. When you light this agarbatti, the smell just does not fix in one corner of the room, right? Rather, it is spread throughout the entire room. And why it is so? Why it is such? Because the particles of the matter diffuses through it. Since it diffuses, so it just spread throughout the whole room. Here you can see one line it is written that Brownian motion. The particles of the matter also show the Brownian motion. And what is Brownian motion? It is the random zigzag motion of the particles. It is the random zigzag motion of the particles, right? It is the random zigzag motion of the particles is known as a Brownian movement. Is known as the Brownian movement. Yeah.